Okay, hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today. And we're going to reshape our house. So what we're going to do is we're going to build our house through a few simple steps. We're mostly going to use these tools right here under eraser tool, scissors tool, and knife tool. And we're also going to do some other neat tricks. So you can do this before or after your shape building exercise. So it doesn't really matter what order you go to. Okay, so now we are going to go over here, and they're going to be numbered very strangely. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to go to artboard number 2, and let me just bring this down. So we're going to go here to our artboard navigation and click on 2, and then I have to go all the way up, view, fit artboard in window. Okay, there you go. This one's pretty easy. We're just going to go and create a rectangle and make sure your fill is off and your stroke is on. Let's do 2 or 3. I think it's 3. Okay. So let's build one here and let's build another. I think we're going to be right here, but let's move it up a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to start cutting. Let me zoom in a little bit more, and we're going to go to the toolbar. Under eraser, you're going to pick the scissors tool. So the scissors tool, you click on the path. Let me show you. So you're going to click in the line, click, and this has cut these 2 lines. And now we're going to go over here, and I think that would be okay. Let's click here. So what's going to happen is we already cut our lines. If you want to, join them, you're going to have to go to Object, Path, and Join. So now you have this new shape. So again, Object, Path, and Join. So now it's one path again. So that's really, really good. Now to section all of this off, first we're just going to cut through here, and then we're going to cut through here. And we're not going to use the scissors tool this time, so we're going to go back to the scissors tool, and then we're going to choose the knife tool. This one's a little tricky. Please pay attention. And also, don't forget to select your shape. Go here. Okay. And we're going to, let me stay here. Okay. We're going to press Alt or Option. So Alt is for Windows, Option is for Macs. Press that first, and then you click, and then you drag. Because if you don't do that, it's going to create, let me show you, it's going to create this very organic type of cut, which is fine if you want to go for that, but we're going to create a straight line, a straight cut. So press Alt or Option, click, and drag, and even it out. It doesn't have to be exactly horizontal. If you do want it to be horizontal, you could press Shift after you have this blue line. There you go. Okay, now we're going to cut to these 2 pieces. So again, we're going to press Alt. And if you want to press Shift, that's fine, but it's going to cut in a more diagonal angle. So we're not going to do that, but we're just going to go freehanded a little bit by just pressing Alt. And then let me just show you again, pressing Alt and click and then drag it down to cut your corners. Okay, so there you go. And oh, I forgot to tell you, just select these cut shapes and then delete. Okay, now we're going to cut our window. So on your artboard navigation here, go to 3. And I'm going to move this up again. Yeah, my screen, I have a screen recorder and it doesn't take the whole screen. It's a little hard to navigate that way. But let's not think about that right now, and let's create our window. So let's go to rectangle tool. And yeah, we're going to use our live corners again. Let's see. So I'm just going to go to select tool, click, and drag in a little bit if you want. And then let's bring these out again. So remember, select, each of these corners and let's adjust it. Okay, and that's fine. And I'm going to need you to go to Object. Oh no, let's go to Edit. Sorry, excuse me. Edit, copy, edit again, and then paste in place. So what happens is you already created another line, another path on top of this. So pasting in place puts it in place. So it's really, really nice because usually when you paste, it just lands in a random area. And that's not good. So what we're going to do is press Shift and Alt on your keyboard, or Shift and Option, click, and then drag inwards. There you go. So it's going to be in the very center. Now we're going to cut with the knife tool again, but if you want to use the scissors tool, that's completely fine. But yeah, let's do the scissors tool. I think that's okay. That should be fine. Object, path, and join. Okay, let's do it again. It might not join. Okay, there you go. So yeah, if you're having issues with that, again, deselect your shape and then reselect. Okay, so a bit of warning when you do cut this one and you join the path. This path is not joined. So let's join them too. So Object, Path, and Join. But the interesting thing, let me return to our original state. So if you do use the knife tool, you won't have that problem. Okay, so we're gonna go and press, oh, I accidentally forgot to press Alt. Okay, so let's press Alt. And don't forget to select your shape. There you go. Or else it's gonna go a little crazy. So we're gonna press Alt first and drag downwards. Let's see. Did I already cut it by accident? I think I did. Yeah, so we're gonna have to zoom out. I accidentally cut it. So redo paste, redo scale. There you go. Okay, so let's try again. Alt. And also, honestly, it all depends on if you accidentally clicked something and you might have nicked a piece here. So again, you can Control Z, undo, and then restart over. That's fine. It happens all the time. Okay, so when you do that, when you do slice something, both shapes are going to be, oops, there you go. That's fine. Okay, so both shapes are actually cut in half instead of one piece is going to be missing any of these pieces. Okay, so let me backtrack. Okay, so instead of both shapes not joined together, because when you're cutting, you're basically just cutting an anchor point. But with a slice, it's creating two shapes, two whole shapes. That makes more sense. Okay. All right, so now we're going to select this, and we're going to slice again. So this works a lot like the shape builder. And do the best you can. And also make sure you have this selected instead of this, because this is going to get sliced if you have it selected, and that's not good. But yeah, this is a new shape, and then we're going to do another one. So let's make sure they're both selected, and you can overlap a little bit more. So again, something does happen with cutting through these lines. The best way to avoid that is to deselect and then just select one of the shapes. So just select this shape and you won't have any problems with the overlapping lines. So let's do it again. And there you go. So it's a lot neater. So make sure you deselect this top shape and just have this selected and then cut through. So yeah, selecting does matter. Okay, now we're gonna go and grab our canvas by pressing spacebar, and we're gonna move on to this one. This one's a lot of fun, but it gets a little interesting. Okay, so let's create a circle first. So I'm gonna create a circle, and I'm gonna do my very best to match it to the blue line. Again, you don't have to do that. Okay, and now we're gonna go create a rectangle, and let's see, actually, let's create a rectangle, and then we're gonna start from the very center. And also let's let's select our smart guides. Okay, so if you don't have your smart guides selected, please do so. I think that's going to make things a way easier for this one. Let's do, actually, okay. So let's deselect and then we're going to go. Okay, there you go. Okay, so make sure you deselect your circle and then have your smart guides on. Okay, so again, view, smart guide. There you go. So view and smart guide. And then you find a center and then you press Alt and drag. Okay, so we're going to try to, let's see. There you go. You can also press Shift. So I think pressing Shift and Alt would be way better. So let me do it again. So let's Shift Alt and drag out. That's too far out. Okay, so we're going to meet the corners and let's see how that looks. You might have to adjust. And then we're going to have this meet in the corner here. Okay, so that turned out fine. If you're having a little bit of overlap, that's completely fine. We could always fix that. So let's select both shapes by creating our marquee and selecting them. And what I want you to do is go to your Pathfinder. Right here, it's going to be on your Properties panel. If it doesn't show up, you could go to Windows, Workspace, and Reset Essentials. Or you can go to Windows and Pathfinder. So it should be right here. You can select Pathfinder and it's going to create a box. But since it's already here, we don't have to. So that's completely fine. Oh, and actually it just did pop in. Okay, so let's close it. And what I want you to do is press Alt and click Unite. And a very interesting thing that's going to happen. It's going to mask your circle inside the rectangle. So part of your circle is inside the rectangle. If you want to adjust it, let's right click and isolate selected group. Okay, so here you go. Because when you isolate the group, it's going to be a lot easier to change. So I'm going to get out of that. And when you select this one shape, both shapes will be selected. So if we isolate a selected group by right clicking isolate selected group, you can adjust the circle. So the pretty cool thing about this is, let me zoom out so you can see, is I'm pushing up on the up arrow. So there you go. You can have a very cool, interesting shape. You can experiment with all sorts of cool things. Okay, so I think I actually want it up a little bit more just to make it a little bit wider. Okay, now you go. There you go. Okay, so we're going to paste in place. So let's select our shape, object, edit, copy, edit, paste in place. And again, we're going to press Shift and Alt at the same time and drag it out a little bit more. And you can adjust it to the blue line. And we're also going to create, let's see if it's going to stick. There you go. We're going to create a little circle for the doorknob. Okay, good. And I'm just going to press Shift, not bother with Alt. And if you're having issues with the sizing of your circle, like if it gets thinner or thicker, you can always resize it 3 points, or you can go here and just have scale corners. Okay, with the scale corners, it's gonna keep things very organized, and this one's actually gonna keep the width of the stroke consistent. Okay, and well, I'm just gonna show you. So see, it's still the same width. Sorry, I had to edit something and I accidentally left out some information. I think this is going to be more helpful for us to create the next step. Okay, so we're going to create, sorry, I need to go have a sip of water. Okay, now let's create a rectangle and fit it in as much as you can, or you can overlap a little bit more. Let's select a nice green color and let's change the stroke to 3 points. Okay, perfect. Okay, so with this, we're gonna choose the eraser tool on your toolbar. So let's select that one. If you have it on anything else, again, you can click and then select the eraser tool. So these are open and close brackets. So you're gonna go to the bracket on the left to reduce size, the bracket on the right to enlarge it. So let's enlarge it. Okay, and the bigger the bracket, the easier it is for you to control your stroke. So let's create a nice hill, and again, you can do it however you want. That's your choice. You can make it into like a more like a mountain or just like a hill, or you can just do like a little dip right here. So that's your choice. So there you go. And let's zoom out. Now I want you guys to start building your house. And if your background isn't locked, please lock it before you move your objects. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so let's select this first object and we're going to move it up. And if it's underneath the grass, press Control and let's choose the right bracket. Similar to what you do with the eraser tool. There you go. Keep going. There you go. Now you see it. And this one, we're going to actually go to Object, Transform, and Reflect. Okay, and then we're going to choose Preview, make sure it's on vertical, and then Copy. And what we're going to do is press Shift, click, and drag out. Oh, actually, did it copy? Oh, okay, both of them were selected. Okay, let's try that again. Let's select one, press Shift, and drag out. It's not selecting. That's because I'm pretty far away. Let's get in closer. Sometimes that happens. Let's do Shift, click, and there you go. Okay, it's better to click first and then Shift. And actually, this one is the wrong shape. That's why. Okay, so let's select Shape, press Shift, and overlap them a little bit. And there's going to be an entire reason for that. Okay, let's select them all again and click and drag here. Okay, make sure they are, let's see, yes, okay, so good. Let's select them all and we're going to go to the toolbar and then we're going to go to the Shape Builder tool. So let's select the Shape Builder tool, and what's going to happen is this may be your first time, this may be your second time using it, because again, it doesn't really matter where you start, but I'm going to recap how the Shape Builder works. Okay, so what's going to happen is when you hover over a shape, kind of like this, it's going to turn it gray. You're going to see a screen, which means that it's going to, be the shape that you're going to start with before you join all these other ones. Okay, so you're going to click and then create a marquee and then unclick. So there you go. Let's cover over this one. And you see the plus sign, so the plus sign means add. Click and then drag. Click and then drag. So now you have joined these shapes together, and it's actually very interesting because when you do that, you kind of created a puzzle piece. So see, let me show you. Oh, group. And also if you have any random shapes cropping up, just delete it, something like that. It's just overlapped a little strangely. I wasn't careful where I aligned my house. Honestly, I'm not going to be too bothered by it at the moment. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so, oh yeah. Let me ungroup it so I can show you. So let's ungroup. Really depends on how many times do I need to ungroup. Look at that. So let's select and see. So it cuts it into pieces instead of overlapping shapes and doing all that fun stuff. It's kind of like a coloring book you're creating or a puzzle piece. Okay, so now let's start filling it in. So again, it doesn't really matter what color you choose. You can go to fill and you can go to, let's do a yellow, or no, let's do a gray roof, a dark gray roof. No, it doesn't really matter. There you go. And if you want to change more things, like go over to this option section and go to web safe. So this is a lot easier to color pick than the other ones. If you want to use the other ones, that's completely fine. RGB and CMYK are okay. Web safe is a lot easier, and you can hover over where all the colors are. You're going to see the eyedrop tool. And so let me show you. So wherever you click, your colors are going to change, and also the numbers on the side. So let's keep yeah, this is a lot like Animal Crossing. Now that I think about it. Okay, so I'm going to keep it gray. Okay. Now let's select the bigger shape, and I'm going to leave the stroke alone, and let's choose yellow. If I want to make it lighter, softer, closer to pink, you can do that. Just slide the B slide up to the right or the left. So I'm going to keep it here, like a little bit of coral and closer to yellow. Okay, now we're going to select, zoom in, this shape right here, and I'm going to make it darker. So let's go to swatches, and just to give it a nice contrast. Okay, now we're going to move the window. So let's select and bring it here. Okay, so undo if it gets lost. Okay, and then right click and let's see, arrange, bring to front. There you go. You could, again, change the size if you want. That's completely fine. And, okay, so ungroup it. So select ungroup. Okay, and then we're going to select the same shade here. So what happens is you're going to go to toolbar, you're going to go to eyedrop tool, and you're going to select this. And it's going to change the shape, the shade and color of your shape that you selected. And you could do the same thing with this shape. You can go with, by pressing I on the keyboard, or any color, or you can go to fill, and let's do blue. Okay, and let's select another shape, and let's select this shape. And this one, I'm going to choose the same color of the sky. And again, you can go off key, like you can go off the picture, that's completely fine, but your line might change. So I'd rather just not do that because it's going to happen. So just go to fill and adjust it however you want. Let's see. This is fine. This could take you a long time. Honestly, it does that to me. Okay, I'm going to go to blue. More blue. There you go. Okay. So now I'm going to select this shape. Press I on the keyboard or choose the eyedrop tool on your toolbar and select the purple shape, and do the same with the other curtain. Now we're going to do that with your door. I'm going to adjust it and press right click, click right, and let's do bring front and ungroup. Okay, so this one is going to be the same shade as, let's do a different one. Let's do a different color. Okay, maybe brown, dark brown. Let's keep it gray. Yeah, let's keep it gray. Just to, let's see, let's do light. Yes. Okay, so again, choose whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. And as for this shape, you're going to have to set it back because it actually overlapped the little door. So press Control, and then we're going to click on the left bracket. Okay, there you go. It's just a couple times. That should be fine. As for the sky, let's create it. Or actually, it's right here. Never mind. Okay, let's hover over. There you go. That should be okay. And then we're gonna click and then drag the chimney, and you can change the color too, so that's completely fine. Set it up wherever you want. And I'm gonna, I think, is it already ungrouped? Yes. So if it's ungrouped, it's a lot easier to change. And I'm gonna keep it gray. And I'm gonna choose this, and I'm gonna go a little bit lighter. There you go. Again, you can adjust it however you want. You can turn it in differently than what I did with different colors. You can make it a longer house or, you know, a shorter house, whatever you want. So have fun with this. Again, you know, like, I'm not going to be too bothered if you don't copy me exactly. Just don't forget to go to File, Export, and Export As. And, you know, just save it here. And when you use all artboards, you only need to save this one. And if you don't know which artboard it is, you can just go here, artboard, and then look at the number here. So it's the first one actually. So let's go to File, Export, Export As, and use artboards, and then select this number, delete, and press 1 and export. And there you go. Remember RGB. These settings should be okay, and then press OK. So should be fine. But I'm going to cancel because I already have it saved up. Okay. And thank you guys for joining me today, and I'll see you next lesson. Bye.